I am Bobby T, affectionately known as Bobby T.
And I'm not.
Right.
My name's Ronnie, and we are here in some part of Appalachia. Well, we're here in the hills, and we don't know much, but we thought we'd share
They're
it with
just
you.
another one of them bears.
Yeah, this is Mountain Oracle. That's where we know more than you do, and we're going to tell you about it. I reckon. But mostly, I want you to know that this is the maiden voyage of what will possibly be another Titanic show. I didn't say gigantic. I said Titanic because it may be the last one. But we've had a fine time of getting ready, and my cousin Elmer over there, he's the technician in charge. Yeah, he don't approve of me mentioning him. He wants to stay incognito. I think that means stay hid. And I come down here, and he got this lovely setup here where you ain't supposed to wear green, and of course I wore the only green shirt I had, so I'm sitting here in my coat on, just sweating up a storm. But I don't understand why I wasn't allowed to wear green. He says it'd do something funny to me if I did that.
Right.
I don't understand. I think maybe it might be some of that David Copperfield stuff. What do you think?
Well, so people know we're current, and this is not one of them reruns from back before that corona stuff started. I am wearing my mask.
I thought you had a toothache.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing my mask. Now, I wear it this way when I want to kiss. It's kind of hard to kiss through this thing with it up over your mouth, but you just don't get no flavor. So I pull it down, and of course I have the complete cure for the coronavirus right here. You can listen to any TV show.
Palmolive?
Yeah, they will tell you.
We don't get paid for these your product endorsements.
Actually, some good old lye soap would work better, but
you can't buy lye without a permit.
Right, but the soap and water, they say, is a cure, absolute cure for the coronavirus. Now, they advise you
Don't you bubble when you burp?
They advise you to wash your hands when you go to the bathroom and everywhere. Well, I got a new wrinkle on that. I wash my hands before I go to the bathroom and when I get out of the bathroom. Now, somebody said, why in the world did you do that? I said, well, when I get ready to go to the bathroom, my private parts are a lot cleaner than my hand. So that's the reason I wash my hands before I go to the bathroom. So I don't carry nothing downstairs, It all stays upstairs. So the coronavirus has met its Waterloo, that's H2O, and Palmolive, and it just takes it right on out of here.
Well, maybe we ought to go up and hose down New York.
Well, maybe I'll do. I am actually a victim. I'm not black, but I'm a victim, okay? And you can be a victim without being black. But in 1962, the first wave of the Oriental virus,
you can't say Oriental anymore.
Asian flu.
Yeah, okay, now you're
Asian flu came through this country. And I caught it, 1962. And did you know, other than the food poisoning and people throwing bottles at me and things like that, I have not been sick since 1962.
Well, some people would argue with that, but it's a different illness.
Well, you do. I'm talking about physio, not mental. Okay.
I went down to the Walmart today. I want to tell you, you're wearing that down there. I went down to the Walmart today, and I thought everybody down there had a cold chin, because they wear them down here and cover their mouth a little bit.
Right.
Every now and then, they were seeing one of them slide it up over his nose.
They closed off one of the exits and make everybody's go in one entrance, and everybody's coming out. All they've done is bunched everybody up together,
Yeah, I know it.
If they had both entrances open, they would be much further apart and less likely to spread any of
Our
them
camera,
viruses.
our microphone, our boom operator up there just struck.
So they also closed off one of the entrances. You know, to leave both entrances open, people spread out, won't be as close together, and much less likely to have to run to the bathroom and wash twice.
Well, they didn't want to have a phone connection between the two doors, because if they had somebody out there punching that little thing at one door and somebody else at the other door, they'd have to communicate some way, or they'd lose count.
Would they ever think
What they do when they go home tonight and they've had fewer people come out and went in than they had go in? What do they do? They hunt one, see if anybody's dead back in the curtains or something.
Well, I meant to look it up before I come up here and see exactly how many people died from the Asian flu in 1962. I'm sure they would have those figures on the internet. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me down at Walmart today.
Is this that true story?
Well, no, yes, it's true. This is a true story.
That's one.
And all of them I tell are true.
Mostly.
I actually do wash my hands twice. I wash them before I go to the bathroom. I wash them when I come out. But this story, I was checking out.
Probably good on warts.
I had bought some little treats for my chihuahuas, and let's see what else I bought a gallon of tea, and bought something else. I'm probably what it was. I'm making it, but I needed 32 cents in change, and I didn't quite have 32 cents in change. It was $30.32, I believe, and I laid out and I did quit. So I was reaching in to get another dollar, and this fella in the next line over there reached over there and put 30 cents on the counter. I said, well, I appreciate that, brother. He was a black guy. I said, I appreciate that. I said, I got something to tell you when I get away from here. I said, you just donated 30 cents to probably the only person in this part of the country that set in with the Woolworth 4 in 1960 when they staged the first restaurant lunch counter sit-in. And I sat in with those boys. I lived I lived in town for about 6 months, then I moved back out in the country. I was living about 8 miles out in the country. My wife worked kind of catty-cornered across from Woolworths where they staged the first lunch counter sit-in. She got off at 5 o'clock. I got off at 3 from teaching school, unless I had bus duty, then it was about another hour. So I would come on uptown, and while I was waiting on her to finish up her work, she worked for the old Bank of Greensboro, I would just mess around and hang out there right directly across from the bank, which was the Woolworths department store. And I said, what are those guys there doing? They said, well, they're sitting in, says they won't wait on them because they're black. I said, well, why not? I got black cooks behind the counter. What in the world is wrong with serving them boys there at the lunch counter? Said they just won't do it. Says Woolworths has a policy. They do not serve black people. I said, let me go in there. So I just went in there and sat down. One of them women came over. I don't remember whether she was black or white. And says, what are you going to have? I said, I'm going to have whatever them boys are having. I said, just bring me the same thing. They said, well, we're not serving them. I said, well, I don't reckon you're serving me either. So I said, you just donated 30 cents to one of the few people that was there, and probably one of the only white guys that sat in with them. And that's a true story. I sat in with that poor on a couple of occasions. You know, sat in there about several days, you know, and...
well, is that the true story you're going to tell?
That's a true story.
Well, I'd like to hear that true story about Dabney and and Jack.
I put a little note on the internet to locate Devaney.
Devaney, okay.
Devaney, yeah. And
I thought it was Dabney.
I have not had any results. I know she lives in Mocksville, North Carolina. That's right after you cut off I-40.
That them people couldn't spell, wasn't it?
Right.
Everybody knows it's Knoxville.
Right. It's Mock, M-O-C-K, Mocksville. Well, Devaney owned a motel, and she had come in there with some trucker. Okay, she'd left home, and her parents hadn't heard from her in a couple of years. And she came down to the motel, and the trucker went off and left her there. So myself and my wife, we more or less took her in. She wasn't but about 17 years old at the time. She was from Florida. Her last name was, believe it or not, Jones. Her mother was a school teacher, and I don't remember what her father did. He had a real responsible job. But we gave her a room there at the motel, and we put her on the desk checking people in and helping to do some of the house cleaning. But I guess her main job was riding Jack.
Who's Jack?
Jack was actually a female Jenny donkey that we called Jack.
And flying, talking donkeys.
The name of my motel was Poncho's Villa. I take off on Poncho Villa. Okay, spelled the same way. It's called Poncho's Villa. And it was right on I-85 right outside of Highport, North Carolina, going east toward Greensboro, North Carolina. And so I brought Jack up from the farm and made made a big old sign. Now Devaney was a well-endowed young lady. She was very, very bosomed. And she's very pretty young lady. And I made a big sign, drape over, front and rear. It says, "If you can't eat at Poncho's, kiss my donkey." And I put her out there in the middle of I-85 in the medium. And old Earl White was one of the highway patrolmen in that area, and Earl would come up and they said, "Bob, you can't put that girl on a donkey out there in the medium." I said, "Okay." So I'd call them in. I'd put a case of beer in the back of Earl's highway patrol car. He paid me for it now. I'd put a case of beer back there. He'd pull around behind and put a case of beer in the highway patrol car.
Did you sell it to him at full price? Did you tell him?
I charged him full price.
Well, y'all at least give him a discount.
Maybe I'm not charging him any tax. But
Oh, yeah, they're going to say knock off tax.
And as soon as he left, I put Devaney back out there riding the donkey up and down in the medium. And so that's a little bit of a true story regarding Devaney Jones, who entered into Gilbert Technical College, and graduated from there. And I had a new
brain surgery.
I had a new Nissan pickup, and at Christmas time, I let Devaney take that new truck plus my big St. Bernard for protection. Her name was Abigail, and Abigail weighed over 200 pounds. I let her.
You didn't want to feed her through Christmas, did you?
Right, I got out to feed her.
That's slick.
I let her take my new pickup truck and Abigail, and they went to Florida in it and reunited with her parents and everything, and came on back when they were supposed to. Didn't keep my truck.
Well, I want to know about the time you got in trouble with how's her name, old Miss Somebody?
You talking about the old red-headed witch that run the
You
what is
mean
it, what is the Association for the,
Advancement of poodles or something.
no, you know, where you aren't cruel to animals.
SPCA.
Yeah, whatever it
Is that
is.
right?
They heard I had, and the authorities were always on me because I won a little old lawsuit from them, you know, like $100,000, and they didn't like me too much for that. But she called me up and says, "Mr. Andrews," says, "I understand you have a donkey out there at your place that has no place to get in out of the weather. He usually has nothing to eat." I said, "Let me correct you one thing. It's a she, not a he." Says, "You just gonna have to do something about that donkey." I said, "You're badly informed." I said, "That donkey has a place to stay, has plenty to eat. Well, we're going to come out and inspect his facilities." Soon as I hung up, I had some of my guys there to take all the furniture out of room number 14, which was one on the corner on the back. And the only thing they left in there was a little table with a TV on it, and TV was on. We put a bale of hay in there.
That's before the Animal Channel, wasn't it? That was before the Animal Channel, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we put a
Misread, I
bale of
guess.
hay in there, and we put a bunch of magazines around on the floor for Jack to look at. So out comes, I can't think her name right now, I will, but she was ready when she run the boarding house, and she looked rougher than any animal in the animal pound. I mean, I declare she did.
God rest her soul.
She came on out there, and she says, "Where's the dog?" I said, "Well, he's in his room." I said, "He's where he's supposed to be." "Well, I want to see that." So we took her around there, and there stood old Jack watching television, munching on hay and eating a magazine or two. She says, "I have never in my life seen a donkey in a motel." I said, "I told you that donkey was not mistreated. I said, got the finest room in the motel." Well, she left, and I knew she was going to call the health authorities. So while she was gone, Jack had been up there 6, 8 months, you know. I said, "It's time, old boy, go back down to the farm," where he never stayed inside the farm. We went over down to some old cedars and pines when it sleeted and snowed and rained and lightning and everything. He got over there. So he wasn't used to staying in. I said, "Well, Jack, I've got about time for you to go home." I took him out there, laid him up, and he hopped up in that Nissan pickup.
You mean you didn't have a used hearse or anything?
No, not then. So he hopped up in there, and we tethered him down, tied him down, and I took him to Randolph County. And we immediately cleaned that room up and put all the furniture back in and everything, you know. And it wasn't, while I was gone, out come the health department officials. They wanted to look in every room of the motel because they figured that they had the room number wrong. So they opened up and looked in every room in the motel, and there was no donkey to be found. Because I took Jack back to my farm in the country, which incidentally I still own after 64 years. I still own that, or most of it. And so I took Jack back down there. So that's my little foray.
Well, what happened to the woman?
Huh?
What happened? Oh, Miss, whatever her name was.
Would you believe she and some of her boarders got to drinking one night and burnt the house down, and she burned up in it.
I hate to say this, but you've had a bad track record on that, ain't you? Well, I just wondered. I remember there's something about that donkey and everything. I kind of liked that.
Right, if you can't eat at Poncho's, I had a restaurant too, kiss my donkey.
Specialize in tortillas, did you? Sell Mexican food.
Oh, I was a vanguard. I was way ahead of everybody.
Sushi.
When they
Sushi.
come out there and eat tacos, I made it out of goat meat. Made it, I mean, it was real authentic. We would fry our...
Kosher pigs.
Huh?
You have them kosher pigs then?
No, not then. But we would our tortillas. We would fry them and cook them, and we put the meat to it, you know, and it was good. It was well seasoned with Zapata sauce and everything else, and people back then I was getting $1.50 for a taco.
When you got drunk customers, you can get that.
Well, I sold an awful lot of tacos in the 70s before Taco Bell ever come into this part of the country.
I don't know. You told me one time that you got a deal on hauling off used bagels and fattened hogs on them. And then tried to pass them off as kosher pigs.
No, I really did not get a good, all that great a deal on bagels. What it was, I went to the bread store. And that being more or less Gentile country,
Yeah.
they always had a lot of bagels left over. And when I loaded up those racks of bread, most of it turned out to be bagels. And I fed them to my hogs. And I said I had the only kosher pigs in the entire United States. And that's what they were. Because I never forget, I had an old boy, it was from New York, and he was Jewish boy. And I'd go home on the weekends, and when I come back, I'd bring a whole bag of
Pork rinds.
not pork rinds, but what is it? The good part of the hog,
Tenderloin.
tenderloin. I bring 24 to 36 tenderloin biscuits back.
Uh-oh.
Okay, they wouldn't offer me. I give them to my friend.
You told him it's beef,
Well,
didn't you?
he loved them tenderloin biscuits. He had to have one as soon as I hit the dormitory, or later on it was my apartment. He would show up looking for a tenderloin biscuit. Finally one day he says, "What kind of meat is this? These tenderloin biscuits?" I said, "That's hog meat." He said, "Oh my goodness," he said, "don't tell my mama and daddy." Yeah, I had kosher hogs.
You don't see many of them anymore.
No, you don't, you know.
Hard to get.
I
You know,
do.
I didn't, when I went out,
I hated, when I got ready to slaughter them, I had to make sure they were facing east.
is that the way it works? I had never, I'd heard about bagels. I didn't have any idea what they was. And I went off.
But that fella that called up on the show, I thought he was talking about
Yeah.
beagles.
Yeah, I remember that. But I went, when I went to school, I was going to UT, and I'd go by over there. I didn't fool with breakfast in the morning, but between classes, I'd swing by there and get something, and they said, "I always got a donut." And I went in there one day, and they didn't have any of them there glazed donuts I'd been getting, so I got one of them others. I didn't know. I thought I'd got a hold of a rubber donut. I didn't even know what they were. They wasn't labeled.
Well, actually,
But I eat it, and, you know, I thought, "But what's wrong with that?" And I kept
my
chewing, and
dad,
I finally got it chewed up, and, you know, it left, you know, kind of filled your belly. So I went to going by there and get me one, and all I know to call them was a rubber donut. I didn't know what they was. Somebody
dad,
told me there's bagels.
my dad had very strict dietary rules for us to go by when we
Didn't
were
he used to
little.
resell used
No.
silverware?
No, well, we get a lot of silverware out of that slop we picked up to feed them hogs.
Yeah.
His hogs wasn't kosher, but we picked up slop, and he always strained it and boiled it before he fed it to the pigs, you know. And I told him old
Can't give no pigs raw slop.
case knives away and everything, you know.
Yeah.
And but he had very strict dietary rules for us to go by. We were never brought any carbonated water in the house. That's what he called it, not pop or soft drinks. He called it carbonated water. He said, that's not good for you, it'll kill you and you not to drink it. So we drank milk. We sometimes drink some iced tea. Very, very, very seldom. We drank a lot of grapefruit juice. And we drank water. And the older folks would drink coffee. We young kids were not supposed
You just had to eat the grounds, didn't you? They drunk the soup and you got to eat the coffee.
Right. Well, back during the Second World War, they drank a lot of postum, you know, which wasn't nothing but old ground up grain.
Chicory.
There was a little chicory put in it, you know.
I think that's for color.
Right, but by having strict dietary rules, he let us eat very little sweets. The only sweets we could eat would be molasses and honey. No granulated sugar
Well, that'd
at
kill
all.
anybody, Bob. How old did he live to be?
Oh, he like one day being 100.
Yeah, okay. I guess it didn't hurt him too bad.
You ate no sweets. So getting back to mistaking them bagels for donuts, that's what made me think of this. By not having very many sweets, I go over to my sister's house, and she made the most delicious cornbread muffins. I thought it was cake. I honestly did as a young boy. I thought it was cake. She was 22 years older than me, my sister was. And I thought that was cake, and it was actually just corn.
With sugar.
Yeah. So
It was cake. Good cornbread ain't got sugar, no eggs either.
oh, I love cornbread.
Can't get good cornmeal anymore. It's hard to get anything up here in the mountains, especially with everything shut down and everybody, you know, it's just a rough time here in the hills. I don't know why we're giving everybody else advice. I mean, the fact that we don't have any flu cases in the county and everybody's got plenty to eat, what do we know? How can we teach anybody in New York something?
Talking about plenty to eat, I'm going to have to get into a bigger
I was going to say,
shirt because I can't hardly get this one on.
you put on the wrong shirt or something there.
Is that
I
right?
did too. I had to wear my coat. You know, I'd been through this.
Yeah, I've gained a little weight.
There, I've made it disappear again. Well, Cousin Elmer over there, this is a family affair, by the way. We've got Cousin Elmer operating the technical stuff, and we've got Brother Eli over here. He's from down to church. And then over here with the lighting, I think that's Cousin Nimrod, and he's fell asleep. That's the reason it's so dark in here. And we've got Mildred over there going to play the piano. That's Aunt Mildred. She's going to play the piano for the closing if we manage to get her. We last that long. How long we going to do this, Bob? Looks like we've been at it about 30 minutes.
I don't know. It's kind of like the fellow walked in to get him a two before, and he says, I want two before. And the fellow says, well, how long do you want it?
Uh-oh.
And he said, well, if I'm allowed to pay for it, I want it forever. Well, that's the way this is here. We can just keep going forever, or we can
we
put
got
a time
to
limit on it.
save something in case this ain't canceled after the first test run.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and save up some of them
Well, you mean we're not going to talk about
documented stuff, huh?
we're not going to talk about all these problems we're having out here in the streets?
Well, let's do a little teasing.
Okay.
Go ahead and tease something there. Don't tell them where we are, though. Call in our
I have the perfect solution to a lot of our problems. Though it's not the solution. I know the cause of a lot of our problems that we
What
have.
would that be?
Teeth,
Teeth?
yeah. And
They
I'll
will
tell
get you in
later
trouble.
exactly why teeth is causing so much problem.
I mean, you'll
throughout
be
this
all right
country.
then, won't we? Tell me.
You want me to tell you now?
Yeah.
Well, you know, this country's very dependent on
This ain't gonna come back to bite us, is it?
you know, this country's very dependent on getting a correct flow of information and correct reporting of what's going on. Nowadays, the only thing you have to
Gotta see this.
know or be able to do to be a news reporter is to talk and show your teeth at the same time. Yeah.
Well, we're out of business.
Yeah, you don't have to know anything.
You can't. That's why you don't have any hillbilly reporters.
Just as long as you can talk and show your teeth at the same time.
You know, Jim Acosta used to be kind of a local reporter around here, not too far up there in that Knoxville
Right.
town.
All
He's
right.
got teeth. I guess that's why he
Okay, did
left.
we not pay our light bill?
Must not have.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Wake
Why-
up, Charlie.
Hey,
I mean, Nimrod.
well, I'll tell you next time
Okay.
why teeth are the cause.
Cousin
A lot of our
Elmer,
problems.
there's another bub right there. You can try it. Was it done dead? Our technical supervisor. There goes my. Go ahead. I know what you're doing.
Probably one of them old imperial bulbs that Ronnie bought.
It's one. No, what it is, it's one of them lifetime bulbs that cost twice as much as, well, 4 times as much as it used to, and don't use much juice. That's how they don't use juice. It don't burn. You can save a lot of
Alright.
juice when it don't burn. Okay, I've been instructed to talk. I've run out of.
They probably got
I'm too
too hot with
fascinated
that,
with the thing going on.
Paper reflecting back on it.
Well, screw that other in there and we'll know.
Well, what do you think about this first trial run?
I don't know. We just have to wait and see if the lights burn. It's a conspiracy that didn't turn the juice off on us. Did that there any good when you put in? Oh yeah, well, who knows? It's just a little glitch. Them glitches. Beats me. You don't reckon it's gonna burn
Folks,
down, do you?
Folks, if you'd like to send in a donation so we can pay for a light bill,
We want to buy an airplane
it's filled-
too, like Benny Hinn.
just feel free to do. You wonder what that woman is that's going to send us that $1,000.
I don't know. We could sure use it.
Right,
We could put down payment on the airplane,
Right,
way down.
right. And what happened to
Had
her?
to talk her out of it, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah. We were kidding one night and told her we wanted to buy us a $6 million airplane, and that if we could get 600 people to donate $1,000, we could buy that plane.
It wouldn't work,
And
would it? 600.
It's
Have to have
600.
6,000 people
no,
donate. Yeah, well, that's
yeah,
where we
yeah.
went wrong. Couldn't count.
well, let's see now. 600 people at 1,000 would be what?
600,000.
600,000. Well, that's about what that airplane cost. wasn't
No, it was 6 million.
Okay, all
The only
right.
thing was we couldn't
Well,
figure out
otherwise,
who's
we
going to
got
pay
ladies
the pilot and
called
buy
up.
the gas.
Called up one to know where to send their $1,000 to.
We was kind of flabbergasted. Had to backtrack.
Okay.
Did you ever manage to sell any of your trees?
Yeah, but what?
You know, nail a plaque to your tree to help destroy the carbon and save the world. We was trying to do that for a while.
Right.
That didn't work out. I guess people wasn't so serious about saving the world. If you think we might be done, I'm ready to quit. This coat's getting awful hot.
You ready? All
Can we
right.
sign off now?
This is Bobby G. affectionately known as Bobby T, signing off.
This is Ronnie, and I've never been too affectionately known, but I'm open to suggestions.